So you were kind of, with Fog Creek, one of the sort of poster boys for like successful bootstrap software companies, right? So what, when you raise VC, some people are like, oh, that's, wow, he's,
I'm a traitor to the cause.
Yeah, so can you talk about that decision?
Sure. I always distinguished between two kinds of businesses, and I wrote a very, very early, one of my first blog posts, distinguished between the Ben & Jerry's business and the Amazon type of business. And the Ben & Jerry's type of business grows slowly because you're making ice cream, and plenty of people make ice cream. And you're making ice cream in Vermont in the winter, and it's a slog. Yeah. And you're going to have to, quietly grow it and just get better and better and better every year. And the Amazon model says, oh my God, next year everybody's going to be buying everything on the internet. And so we want to take as large a chunk of that as possible. So we have to get big as fast as possible so that when the dust settles, we'll be the majority player, because there's a value to being, the preeminent place where people go to buy stuff on the internet. I wanted to buy a ping pong table, so Amazon.com.
So it's where you have either like network effects or economies of scale, or
exactly.
Right? I mean, like these are the characteristics of businesses that you think should raise
VC? Network effects, economies of scale, land grab businesses, which means it's you're grabbing kind of new real estate that hasn't been occupied before, and pretty much anybody can grab it. No significant barriers to entry, but then once you get there, you have those network effects, and that's a great model for let's borrow some money. Essentially, let's take money up front to get big fast. Now, the other difference really is the needs of the entrepreneur, I believe, because I think that a one-time entrepreneur who only goes the venture route is very likely to be disappointed. They might end up working for Condé Nast, or they might end up, no offense, Condé Nast, they might end up working for a company that would not be the company they would have gone to work for in their wildest dreams, and they might get stuck there for 4 years. Or when they could have been
You're saying because they raised VC and they have pressure to sell and like...
Or they raised VC, and they're basically the important thing to remember about VC startup companies is that some of them fail, a tiny number are these huge successes, and a very large middle number become, kind of the horizontal companies that either you're stuck in for way longer than you thought, just slogging away at a business that's not growing as fast as it should have, and you're just not excited anymore, and you're bored.
Because if you have a $15 million revenue business and it's bootstrapped, that's great, but if it's VC backed, it's a
oh my God, if it's bootstrapped, you're the king of New York City. You're not even the king of Cleveland. You're the king of New York, and $15 million a year, wow.
Yeah.
But as a VC-funded company, if it's not growing, you're going to have a board that's going to hate you, and life is not going to be good.
Yeah.
So there's so many cases for VC-funded companies where the outcomes are
Do you
not
think
ideal.
too many people raise VC?
Not necessarily, actually. I think people are pretty smart about that. You see a lot of companies, and the VCs are pretty smart about that, right? Like they don't try to fund enterprise software. Well, they used to, but they don't try to fund boring
Well, they call it
companies.
lifestyle businesses, which is
businesses.
like the biggest insult you can have. It's a great lifestyle business.
It is really insulting.
Which actually, lifestyle businesses sound pretty good, actually, to me. But
it does to the entrepreneur. And so, in terms of my personal goals in life, it made sense for me as a second business, given that I've already got a successful lifestyle business, to kind of take a more high-flying bet, given that it's a land grab and stuff like that. And if everything goes to pot at Stack Overflow, to be honest, Fog Creek is a great business too.
Don't tell your investors, is it?
Yeah, I tell them that sometimes. They know.